Hello everybody, it's Mr. Chang from the English department, and today I'm going to go over proofreading exercise for 2004. Now before I go over the answers, I would like you to take out a red pen and write down any answers that I've gone through or any explanation notes that I discussed in the lesson. Okay? Now, let's get started with question number 55. Once upon a time, there is a beautiful. Now, the answer is there was. Bear in mind that once upon a time there was is a very common way to start a story. So if you are asked to write a story in writing exam part A, this is one of the ways how you can start a story once upon a time. Alright? Let's move on to 56. Her stepsisters hated Cinderella. They treated her like a servant and made her to do all of housework. Right. Now, the word to is extra. This is another to infinitive, gerund, bare infinitive point here. After make, use bare infinitive. Okay? That means make somebody and then infinitive. Okay? Now, if you don't remember this, just remember Taylor Swift's song. Okay? Look what you made me do. Okay? Her song is not named Look What You Make Me To Do. It's not named Look What You Make Me Doing, but it's Look What You Make Me Do. So use bare infinitive. Okay? Alright, 57. All of housework. This one you can have you can change it two ways. You can say all of the household work, or all the housework. Both changes are okay, but the key point here is you need to add the definite article. 定冠詞啊，the is used to talk about specific things. All the housework. First of all, housework is uncountable, so you cannot use cannot use an. Alright? And it's referring to the housework in Cinderella's house. It's not in other people's house. It's only in Cinderella's house. So you use the definite article the to refer to the specific housework, okay? 58. The prince who ruled the land wanted to marry it. Okay, so hopefully you see some problem with this because it is another gerund to infinitive and bare infinitive problem. After want to, you should after want, you should use to infinitive. So here, this is not to infinitive. This is past tense verb. So you can either say get married or marry. He wants to marry. Okay? I know in Cantonese you have the concept of 娶 and 嫁, but in English, both 娶 and 嫁 you use marry. So, I mean, if you say she wants to marry a man, that's okay, or he wants to marry, that's also okay. Alright? Next one. But could not find a suited bride. This is a usage error. Should use suitable. Then when is suited used? Since if you look in the live dictionary, they have the same meaning. Usually, suited, you use the word to, suited to. For example, the laptop is suited to your needs. 呢部手提電腦適合你嘅需要。You say suited to, okay? He decided to hold a huge party and invited everyone to come. When Cinderella hears about the party, the problem here is just a very simple tenses error because Cinderella, all this is in the past, so you should use her, not here. 61. She was very sad because she did not have beautiful dress. Again, whenever you use a singular noun, you need to have article, an article, okay? A, because dress is singular, so you need to use a and the. Or proper shoes to put them on. Her cruel sisters had bought. Here, the problem is this. In English, this structure is very common. Shoes to put on, books to read, things to do. Like, I don't have things to do. I have a lot of homeworks to do. I have a lot of movies to watch. I have a lot of housework to finish. So you see, this noun to verb structure is very common in English. Therefore, you should cross out them. Because in this structure, you don't need the pronoun. You just say noun to verb. Alright? Next one. Had bought expensive new clothes for the party and laugh at what? Laugh at what? Laugh at who? You can say laugh at her. When they saw poor Cinderella crying, dressing in her plain dirty rags. This is one of the more difficult questions, okay? So, if we expand the sentence, expand the clause, it will become she was dressed in her plain dirty rags, right? So that's why you need dressed. She was dressed in her plain dirty rags. Not she was dressing. We use, if we say dressing, if we say she was dressing, that means it's an actual action she was doing then. But she was dressed is used to describe the state, 個狀態啊 ，OK？ Just like, you know, she was interested, or she was scared, she was dressed. This is used to describe the state of things or feelings, right? We mentioned it many times already. So this, you should not use dressing, you should use dressed. 65. But soon after the sisters had leaving for the party, so this is a very simple mistake. Had left is a tense era. Just a not, okay? Past perfect. Had. PP. Next one, 66. Cinderella, I'll grant you 3 wishes. You can have anything what you want. What is extra? After anything, you don't need the WH word. Because anything is in the same word class as what. So you can say you can have what you like. You can have anything you like, but you cannot say you can have anything what you like because they repeat in meaning. You can actually kind of see anything as kind of a WH word. Okay? 67. First, Cinderella asked the fairy change her rags. Now, this is a reported order question. Remember, a few weeks ago we talked about reporting questions. So if we report questions, we say, Mr. Chang asked Peter to go to the staff room, right? So, or Mr. Chang asked Mr. Lee if he liked the song, something like that. You need to use WH word or if whether. Maybe I should type it here just to help you revise. Okay, so this you should have studied in Form 2 or Form 3. But reporting orders, we didn't cover last time. Reporting order, very simple. Use reporting verb like asked or told or order or instructed somebody to infinitive. For example, Mr. Chang asked the class to keep quiet. Mr. Chang asked the students to finish the exercise. So here, this is missing the to. Okay, next one. 68. Wave her magic wand and a dazzling pair of glass shoes was appeared. This is a passive voice error. Was appear. What does it mean in Chinese? It means 被出現。乜嘢被出現啊？你出現就出現㗎啦，你唔會被出現㗎嘛 ，right? So here, it's obviously you should not take the passive construction. So whenever you do the exercise, think about whether the passive voice is used correctly. Think about who is doing the action, right? Finally, Cinderella asked the fairy how she could got to the palace. This is just a very simple modal verb error. So, get. Because after modal verb, you should use bare infinitive, like how she could get, how she could skip the lesson, how she should be more careful, or another thing we mentioned in the past, modal verb can also be followed by have plus pp to express a past meaning, like you should have returned the book yesterday, or he may have killed the little girl already. So these are all actions that happen in the past or refer to past meaning. In that case, you use have plus pp. Otherwise, you use modal verbs plus bare infinitive, okay? Alright, let's move on to question 17. All these things will be changed back into what they were before. Here, because similarly, please refer back to this note I made. Modal verb should follow bare infinitive. But here, there are two verbs. There are two bare infinitives. So we need to delete either one. But here, the meaning change is correct. So I would say just delete the word be. All these things will change back into what they were before. So don't come home late. Alright, last question. Late. What is the part of speech of lately? It is adverb. As we know, most words ending in ly are adverbs. Then what's wrong? Because the meaning is wrong. Late is also an adverb. I mean, can also be an adjective, but here we're talking about adverb. Lately means recently. 最近啊 Late just means pass the deadline. Okay. So here you should use the adverb with the right meaning. All right, let's recap. In this exercise, we learn a typical way to start a short story. We revisited bare infinitive, gerund to infinitive again. We talk about article. We talk about a sentence structure, noun to verb. We learn like words which have similar meanings, like suited to, and also lately and late. We covered tenses. We cover modal verb. After modal verb, the tense, what should it be? And also relative clause. Excuse me, it should be report of speech. And also this clause, which is a little bit complicated. So I'm guessing this would be the most difficult question. So hopefully you learned something in this exercise and this video can be of help. As always, if you have any questions regarding the past paper, or if you think that your answers can also be alternative answers, please let your English teacher know. Okay, see you next time.